What's going on, everybody? Vince Goodrum here. It is Monday afternoon, just sitting out here eating some lunch. And, today's a good day since I'm actually eating lunch to discuss a recent trend that's been going around thanks to this gerbil face motherfucker who has decided to bring back that golden era trend of eating about 36 eggs a day. And now he's up there making a claim that 36 eggs a day is better than steroids. And so subsequently, people have been asking me what is my opinion on it there. As I always say, anytime that there's some sort of trend going around, that's usually one of the most common things that actually shows up in my inbox here. But it's time for me to answer things about not just the 36 eggs a day, because we already know that's dumb as fuck there. You'll clog up your arteries with all the cholesterol. But subsequently, I'm going to break down the golden era and why it's bullshit there. Now, number one, the golden era of bodybuilding refers to the 50s and 60s. Now, depending on how you say golden era, it's kind of a enigma. And here's the reason being, because, not everything from the 50s and 60s was great. I mean, yes, you had some of the greatest physiques out there, such as Steve Reeves and George Eferman and Armin Tandy. And, you had some awesome physiques, Bill Pearl included. I can name off a ton of names there. But subsequently, in the 50s and 60s, in comparison to today, 2018, bodybuilding was still in its infancy. So not everything that went on in the 50s and 60s was actually a good idea. One of them being eating 36 eggs a day. And there was also ground up raw cow livers. Jack LaLanne used to drink cow's blood. That's not a good idea to do, basically. And also in the 50s and 60s, not everything was pristine. You had whites only fountains, so you had whites only and colored fountains. You had civil rights. You had black folks getting hung from trees and shit. And it was also the Korean War. We were just getting right past that, where, we, as well as internment camps. So not everything from the golden age, from the 50s and 60s, was awesome there, All right. And sometimes people have that given mistake, reminiscing about a time that they don't really know about or never lived in. And this idiot who's sitting there on a video, and he's got a lot of views on it, cracking open a bunch of eggs there, is the dumbest motherfucker out there, because he obviously didn't study Vince Gironda. And that's the same with Vegan Gains as well. Obviously, he didn't do his research up there talking about Vince Gironda's legs. Let me put something to you about Vince Gironda. Number one, he wasn't good in business there. He died with an overdrawn bank account. But subsequently, to answer the questions about legs, the reason why Vince didn't focus on legs is because, remember, he was a celebrity fitness trainer. So he was training people to be in front of the silver screen, Hollywood and shit like that. So having big ass legs during a production shoot was a big no-no. So yes, that's why Vince didn't focus on legs that much, because he was a celebrity fitness trainer. And having big legs doesn't look good for the cameras. So, quite frankly, that's why Vince trained that way. So there's nothing wrong with it. And in terms of comparing his physique to other people, in the 50s and 60s, body fat levels were much higher. So yes, there is going to be a greater weight difference here. And, Vince was not exactly shredded even during his shows back in the late 40s and 50s here, simply because that body fat level that we have nowadays hasn't been achieved there. But in terms of, 36 eggs a day being better than steroids, fuck no. And the only person that would know that is someone that took steroids. Obviously, this person hasn't taken steroids. If he has taken steroids, then he knows that he's lying out his fucking ass about 36 eggs being better than steroids. The only thing There's steroids, and then there's nothing else. Not even pro hormones are better than steroids. There are steroids, and then there's just steroids, and that's pretty much it. But in terms of eating 36 eggs a day, I mean, that's just plain stupid. Now, we didn't have no thoughts about and the reason why they did it back then is because, there wasn't no protein powders or anything like that. You had very little to go on. You just had, they also had fish protein, or what they call protein from the sea, which was basically dried tuna, and it was nasty as fuck. That came around in the late 50s, and this is prior to whey protein and everything like that. That's why they were having 36 eggs a day. And even Steve Reed, and that's another thing there. Even with this trend of 36 eggs a day, people like Steve Reeves, they didn't have 36 fucking eggs a day. It's made up bullshit there. Vince Guarana was probably just joking about 36 eggs a day. But anyone that eats 36 eggs a day, you're going to clog up your fucking arteries, for crying out loud. So cut this golden era bullshit out there, basically. We've moved on from the 50s and 60s and the 40s, okay? Stop reminiscing about these things. We can reminisce about the great athletes that were there, that being Bill Pearl, Ephraim, Steve Reeves, Armin Tanny, and everything like that. But let's take into account this is the 50s and 60s. And we have had over 75 years of innovations in nutrition, in training, and in fitness. And we need to take advantage of those innovations here. And move away from the past and tell this gerbil-faced motherfucker to kiss your ass. Period. Because the information he's giving out is reckless and very dangerous. And he's going to have someone end up getting a heart attack or stroke just from the idea of eating 36 eggs a day. So, in conclusion, fuck eating 36 fucking eggs a day. It's stupid as fuck. You can get off the golden era, though. Unless you want to go back to white and colored fountains there, for crying out loud. But that's all I got to say today, people. You guys take care.